Welcome back to another video, everyone. So today I want to talk about Crash Twinsanity, the game where Cortex doesn't know if Nina is his daughter or his niece.
My daughter, niece!
Yeah, that's going to be it for this video, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed. In conclusion, Crash Twinsanity does not deserve a remake. Just kidding. Cortex, I'll let you off, since the evil twins did suck out your brain earlier in the game. Crash Twinsanity was the 8th console game in the series that was released in 2004 on the original Xbox and PlayStation 2. But if we're not counting racing or party games, it's Crash Bandicoot 5. It was the first time that a Crash Bandicoot game had been somewhat open world, where you could actually explore the areas that you're playing and take your time to find things like hidden gems. And a lot of people loved and still love this game to this day. So when I asked the question, does this game deserve a remake, some of you might not even need to think about that question before answering yes. But not everyone in the Crash community would say yes, and in this video I'm going to go over why. I'm also going to talk about why I want them to remake Twinsanity and why I think it would be amazing. But we'll go over the reasons why people don't want it first. So the first reason some people might not want a Twinsanity remake is because they don't want any more remakes in general. Crash made a comeback in 2017 with the Insane Trilogy, which is obviously the first 3 games remastered. And then this year they remade Crash Team Racing and pretty much Crash Nitro Kart along with it. And some people just want a brand new Crash Bandicoot game. I'm including this reason first because it isn't directly related to Twinsanity. These people just don't want any more remakes in general. I completely understand why they'd feel that way. I would love a brand new Crash Bandicoot game, but like I said, that reason isn't strictly about Crash Twinsanity. That could go for any Crash game. So the second reason a bunch of people don't want a remake of this game is because they simply don't think it's a good game. The game isn't perfect by any means. We already know the game had a whole lot of cut content and levels that didn't make it because it was rushed. They changed the story while the game was already a decent way into development, but they still had to meet the same deadline. According to the Crash Bandicoot Wikipedia, the game has over 500 glitches because it was rushed. That's a lot of glitches. The game definitely has its issues, whether it be the glitches or missing sound effects that aren't in the game, or simply just small things that they probably would have changed if they had more time to work on the game. Like sometimes if you die, the music will stop playing and it'll change back to the music that was playing before that section. Or sometimes the music from a previous area just won't stop playing. For example, the cutscene just before we fight Uka Uka. He's yelling at us, telling us how pissed off he is and that he's about to fucking kill us, but the music from the previous area is still playing, so it ends up like this.
Who has released me from my icy tomb? I don't know whether to kiss you or kill you!
Yeah, I don't think that's the music that you'd expect to hear when you're about to get murdered by this pissed off talking mask. It's not bad by any means, but there's definitely other soundtracks in the game that would have been more fitting for this cutscene. There's also moments where you can accidentally replay a certain area. For example, when you're on the way to the iceberg lab. You get off the boat and you go to the front door, but Cortex's button doesn't work. So instead you do this cool ice climb section and make your way to the top. Once you're up there, you get this cutscene with Cortex and the penguins. I love the Wrath of Cortex reference here, by the way.
Well, the past few years have kind of been slow. Wrath of Cortex didn't do as well as we'd hoped, and...
Then you keep making your way to the lab, you free Uka Uka from the ice on the way and fight him as a boss battle. You keep going a little further and then you eventually make it. And Cortex then tells us about the Psychotron that will allow us to find the evil twins. Only problem is you need 6 crystals to use it, and at the moment we only have 4. Now we have to go find Engine before he leaves to get one of the crystals. So we go skiing on Cortex and destroy his nutsack in the process. We find a power crystal on the way down, we go through Engine's factory, finally find another crystal. Then we fight Engine in a boss battle, blow up his little ship thing, and go straight into another boss battle, Rusty Walrus. After escaping him, Engine then lands on a TNT crate and we go flying into another boss battle, Embryo and Entropy. Once you beat them, Embryo flips on the iceberg and we go all the way back to where the boat dropped us off earlier in the game. And this is where you can make a very easy mistake of having to repeat the whole ice climb section up to the ship again. You know that you have to go back up to where you were because you've got the crystals. You go to the front door, it's still locked, but the original path that you took is open and it has Wumpa Fruit pointing in that direction again. So you make the mistake of thinking that you have to go that way again, and if you do, you have to do all of the ice climb a second time. You get the same cutscene, you have to fight Uka Uka again, which literally makes no sense at all. Like, mate, we already freed you from the ice 40 minutes ago, what are you doing? It's so easy to miss this little platform elevator thing that takes you straight to the top. The problem is that they didn't patch up the previous area or do anything to stop the player from accidentally going back up. This can happen later on in the game as well at the Academy of Evil. After sending Cortex through all of those pipes and fighting Dingo Dial, you can easily find yourself doing it all over again. This time it's not as easy though, because when you come up, the room that you're supposed to go into next is right in front of you. But if you go around and explore this area first, which would make sense because there's hidden gems that you can find around here, you'll notice Cortex is standing at the stairs again, which is where he was when you first enter the Academy of Evil. And if you go near him, the same cutscene will activate where Cortex tells you to follow him, and it will repeat the whole boiler room and Dingo Dial fight all over again. All could have been fixed by just not letting the cutscene play again or having that area blocked off. What I'm getting at, the game has its problems and that's why some people don't like it. But I don't see this as a valid reason to think a remake would be bad. In fact, a remake would be amazing in my opinion. I've noticed I use the word amazing way too often. Let me just find some synonyms for the word amazing. Astonishing, astounding, sensational, oh that's a good one. Phenomenal, incredible, marvelous, unbelievable, wonderful, thrilling, exciting. That's what I think a remake of Twinsanity would be. The game has its issues, yes, but it's also got some great elements to it too. Like the Dingo Dial boss battle, that is fucking awesome. I'd love to see a remade version of that. The soundtrack for Twinsanity is astounding too. It's got fun levels, challenging levels too, especially if you're going for 100% and you collect all of the gems. We already know that they're capable of remaking classic Crash games and doing it brilliantly. So if they do decide to remake Crash Twinsanity, they could remake it with its cut content. Get rid of all the glitches, make it with beautiful, up-to-date graphics. Add the missing sound effects, remake all of the cool cutscenes. Maybe they could change the story a bit as well if they have to. You get the idea. It could be what Twinsanity was always supposed to be. Remember, there's a difference between a remaster and a remake. A remaster isn't really changing anything about the game, staying true to the original, just updating the graphics pretty much. A remake is updating the graphics but also changing things about the game that would make it better than it was before. Now of course I'm not speaking for everyone, there might be other reasons why some people hate the game, and if you don't want a remake for whatever reason then that's fine. But me personally and a lot of other Crash fans would love to see this game remade. But I guess the question is, does the game deserve to be remade? Does it deserve to make a comeback, or should we just leave it in 2004? I think it does. It's got 500 glitches, but it was rushed, and I think it deserves a second chance, because think about it this way, even with its glitches, even with its problems, so many people still love this game. Then you can imagine how many Crash fans and non-Crash fans would love a remake of this game. So yeah, Twinsanity deserves a second chance, in my opinion. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and let me know down below what you think about having a Crash Twinsanity remake. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.